And so, kind of going to something that you just said about choosing, right? How we are going to show up, how we are going to act, right? How we're going to respond. We can train ourselves to respond in ways that serve us much better. And so, just like somebody, decides to um, run the marathon, right? They are not going to say, "Oh, I'm going to run the marathon," and then the next day go run the marathon, because they recognize that they need to train their body, they need to train their muscles, right? Sometimes, or I think most of the time, as humans, and I think sometimes the intellectuals, this is a little bit of our downfall. We think that what we think, right? If I tell myself that I am going to respond to that colleague mistreating me, or that patient being rude to me, I am going to respond calmly. I am not going to let it bother me. I am going to show my best self and not carry that through the rest of my day. We can tell ourselves that, and we, in that moment, by telling ourselves that, believe, in all honesty, that we can do that. But the reality is that we all have preset neural patterns in our brains. And these are all those reactions that take place in those moments are really coming from our survival brain. And anything that happens, right, to us that is feels like an attack, even if it's, a patient just being a little snarky, or a colleague that maybe is a little challenging, our brain perceives that as an attack. And so we are going to react in that fight, flight, or stillness way. And so we can train our brains through consistent practice to recognize when that's happened, because that will always happen. But we can train ourselves to recognize when it's happened, and then actually let that go